What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of the KOM Chronicles. I'm here in Fernie, British Columbia on some trails just outside of town. Today we've got New Goat. Looks like a sweet fall line, double black sort of technical trail. So 3 runs to pick it apart and see how close we can get to the KOM. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. This hillside's pretty shaded, so yeah, not a lot of light. Okay. Ooh, it's pretty sick. Maybe set up a little bit more there. That's a big squiggle. Oh my God. You could commit down that. Hard to read with these shadows. Got that pretty good. Oh boy. Inside. Oh. Oh God. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh. What a ripper. Well, that trail rips. Not a ton of line choice. There are in a few sections. It's just going to be kind of more figuring out where I can let off the brakes, be smooth, and gain time. But yeah, right now the dirt's pretty good, but it's still a little slippery, so it makes some of those sections dicey, and the roots are still kind of in play. I don't know, gonna go up and see if we can go a little faster. Run 2 started a bit higher so I can make sure to get the full Strava segment. That was a bit better. Nice. Oh, that section is sick. Oh, okay, check out for that. Gap that. Oh. Nice. Oh. Oh, crossed up. That section's scary. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. Trail's full on. Got the top a lot better, but down low, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like sometimes when you're going slow, or even on your first run, it can open up some insides, but then like I'll carry more speed into that same section second run, and I kind of don't pick up on that same cue, and I'm going too fast. But yeah, gonna go out for run 3, probably try and ride the top section the same, and maybe just be a little bit more patient down low. So let's get it. The top, run 3, let's see if we can link it all together. I did slow down my rebound a couple clicks. Just felt like it was getting a little hectic. Oh God. Oh. Tricky. Fuck yeah. Oh, I'm stoked on that. Yoo-hoo! I think for 3 runs, that's about as good as I could have ever gotten. I like pushed with a bit more pace up top, but just was like looking ahead. I just got in like a really good race mindset, honestly. Kind of like flipped that switch into a mode. You know, I've been in where it's like aggression, but patience, and like really looking ahead. I guess that was the biggest difference, is I like kind of got a feel for the trail, but like took the extra time to like put my vision like an extra 20 feet down the trail, kind of look through the trees, and it allowed me to link together the lines I took on the first run down low, link those together, and kind of picked up a few new ones on the fly. Like at this last shoot, set up super wide, cut inside. That was a place I got sketchy with, and then set up outside in the fresh loam to lace this left-hander. Let's check in with Strava, see how we did, and then I'm gonna talk through the run in more detail, kind of going through it from top to bottom. Well, Strava results are somewhat inconclusive, but on that last run, I would have gotten around 11th. You know, maybe I need to subscribe if I'm really gonna do this series. But yeah, the KOM is 110. I ran a 125. 15 seconds seems like a lot on that trail, but maybe perfect conditions in all the lines. Maybe it's possible, but either way, Adam Zai is the current KOM holder, so shout out to Adam. And yeah, let's take a look at this run and kind of see what I could have done better. All right, so top of the run. Honestly, the top was pretty straightforward, not a ton of line choice. I just felt like I was doing a good job of not braking so hard that the bike was being upset, and then like getting into the corners off the brakes, so the bike was holding traction really nicely. And I just felt like I had a nice flow. There were a few little setup lines, and then this one was a nice one to pick out. Getting out of the main rut there, and then that opened up the setup into the left-hander. And then this section, I bet if you really knew what you were doing, you could pretty much go no brakes through here. I did like 2 gaps in here, but there's actually another undulation that you could pull up off of and possibly triple into the landing I doubled onto at the bottom. But then you got to catch this little left-hand rut. And then this is my biggest mistake for sure. Coming into this tight section, my rear tire slips on these little slick roots, and then I overcorrect the other way, and then coming back down, it happens again where my rear tire just like slips, and then I'm like oversteered, kind of facing the wrong direction. I actually hit this best on my first lap out of all of them, but on the third lap, that was my biggest mistake, I think. All through here is pretty straightforward. Again, just like having a really nice balance to I just felt like I was riding in a way that really let the bike work well. You know, you want to brake hard, but you also don't want to be like upsetting the bike. So I don't know, I just felt like I was like really kind of focused and in a bit of a flow. And then I picked out this inside. That was the best I hit it out of all the runs. And then this is another steep area where it's kind of just a commitment game. I was kind of dragging brakes down the whole thing, but I think if you really wanted to, you could let the bike work and then really commit to the brakes in this left-hander. I was kind of dragging them all the way through. And then this is maybe the biggest line I switched up for the final run. The previous 2 runs in this right-hander, I kind of like got stuffed in the main line, and then it like put me at a weird angle on all these roots, and it just felt bad. So I took the time to set up way outside, hug right really close to the tree, and I'm on all this fresh dirt that's like way more tacky than the slick stuff in the main line, and it gives me a way better entry into this steep section. And that's for sure the line, in my opinion. I did kind of pussyfoot it because it was my first time hitting it, but if I went in there next time like knowing what I was doing, I could have been like way later on the brakes, even kind of committed into a drift. But I was pretty stoked to lace that up like real smooth in the final run. And then onto this high line, kind of like jumped up there and then trusted it as the bike like kind of drifted back down into the main line, and then off the brakes here, and then I shot up way high into like this fresh dirt right on the edge of the trail, and then slammed into this left-hander, and that was by far the best I hit that section. On the second run, I kind of like tried just staying low in the main line. Sometimes like taking the time to set up into a high line isn't quite worth it. So I kind of tried just going straight, but then looking up the trail in the last run, I was like, oh, there's a good way to kind of get up and get a way better angle. And that was the run. So besides that little bobble in the middle, I was really happy with that. Yeah, besides that, I was just really happy with like my mindset and kind of focus. I don't know, that was like, that felt like a good race run. It's just when I'm like riding with a level of focus and confidence that kind of comes together in like a race run scenario, and I kind of like check back into that. That's the mindset that I've had like my best and like most consistent race runs in. So it was kind of cool to feel that again on just like a average Sunday afternoon. That's about it for this video. Subscribe on Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. I post all these videos over there first. But besides that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.